Magic's pretty grim.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
everybody.
Hello.
Did you say hello? No, I said hello, but close enough.
Okay. What? So,
You know
you just murdered those dwarves. Slaughtered. The only injury among you was the Punisher that you don't really care about, who is immediately starting to wrap a specialized kind of bandage around the axe wounds he's got. And Gilwyn, who is probably at this point staring at his bleeding arm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm staring at it and I'm going, I need to write a song about this.
Gilwyn, let me see that I have experience in sewing flesh back together.
I sort of, after coming down off the high of that battle, effectively, I sort of look around, breathing heavily, see Gilwyn's on, my eyes go a little bit wide, and I rush over and just grab his arm and use lay on hands.
How much are you going to heal with your lay on hands?
How much do you lose? I've forgotten.
5.
Then I'll heal my maximum 5. You can have all my healing.
You're staring at your wound. Kilwyn, grabs it pretty forcefully, and with that green mixture of golden light, it just stitches back together very quickly. There's no sound. It's just as if it never happened.
I just let out a relieved breath.
Aside from that, some of the hair on your arms is kind of missing, which you notice, but I don't think anyone else would.
Useful bit of magic there. I'm going a bit Borak. I'm infected.
Instead of
Excuse me.
thanking Caitlin, I'll go, Gilwyn Gallagher, the bane of bearded bastard. The name needs work, but we'll get there.
You watch your mouth there, friend.
You want title? You get title through hard work. Become legends. At this point, this guy, the Punisher, takes like one. Is looking through the axes for the right one. He actually goes in the back to an area you haven't been, and takes a bigger, like a cleaver, and just starts hacking the legs off.
Like hacking. Like while he was gone, I already started, but like hacking away at them, not caring if it's not clean. I'm just like smack.
That's what he's doing on the other side right now. He's actually in the back room that you guys didn't go into. There's a butcher table basically. There's a giant, what looks like a giant louse on there right now. But he just like starts taking their bodies, dumping them, hacking away, butchering them, taking off their heads, of course, not their delicious dwarven meat. But that's kind of going on. The sound of both of these dwarves hacking away is not pleasant.
Right.
It's not a nice noise. It's the cleavers and the axes going through flesh isn't the problem. It's when it hits the spine. It's the noise of it going through bone is not pleasant.
As soon as that noise starts to emanate throughout, I'm like, okay, and I walk like far away as possible.
Gilwyn, come here. I show you how to swing axe.
Nope, I'm good.
I would actually look a little bit at them cutting off the heads, but I won't say anything. I will start just having rummage around the crates, see if there's any possessions that might be returnable to their original owners or anything.
Yeah,
like
sure.
that.
Go around. Give me an investigation roll for those who are inclined in looting who are not currently hacking. Actually, old Mr. Delric, give me a survival roll.
Love to.
Old Mr. Delric.
Well, apparently I'm the
Delric.
geezer here, so you know.
You are.
Mr.
Oh, Mr. Delric. Gilwyn, do you want to investigate, or are you just piecing out?
I'll definitely investigate.
So,
Oh boy.
Scott, you're hacking away. You're like, this is fine. It doesn't need to be a clean job. You're doing exactly like, I think this will take 2 hours to get all this done between us. Looks like it's going to take exactly 2 hours. Like you're going like, yes, this is going as planned. It's exactly as you wanted. Gilwyn, you're looking around. You go a little bit further than the others. This sort of breaks out into not necessarily a natural cave, probably mines that have caved in, but caved in a long time ago, so sort of look a little more natural. You actually find a gemstone, like it glitters in the torchlight. And of course that takes your eye. Sort of fist-sized, whitish, with a slight blue hue to it crystal.
Ooh.
The rest of the loot around here, there's, a few boxes of It's actually glass. There's a box of glass panes, but it looks like it was stolen recently. And the Punisher's already taken what is basically their journals, because Dwarven bandits keep logs of their trophies and all that. And he's like, "Hey, looks like they were upset they hadn't heard from their brothers. They killed their brothers." And he's already starting to do that. Really, the only interesting you find is that gemstone. And none of you see him. He can just snatch it away if he wishes.
Snaffle it away. Can I go ahead and pick up some arrows? I believe I can pick up
Half of how many you used, basically, is the rule.
Yeah, I don't tell anybody about it.
Gil.
The beginnings.
A rogue after my own heart, right there.
Yep. Do you stay while they're hacking away the bodies, or are you gonna go do something else? It's
I'm
quite
gonna
late
pick
out.
up my.
I'd
Pick up. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
no go. I was just gonna say I'd pick up the box of glass panes and just like on a shoulder and just start moving back towards the entrance of the tunnel.
Yeah, I'd probably. Sorry, Neil.
Sorry, I was gonna go ahead and just pick up my bow, unstring it, sling it over my back, pick up my packs, and head out to where Caitlin's packs were to make sure they're still there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I'd
do
pick
not
up my
understand
shield
why
as
they
well
don't
on
help
the way,
with this.
obviously.
Do they not want a reward for doing job? Are they not here to help
We
out
will
with
take,
job?
We'll take money between ourselves. We are doing the hard work.
Killing bandits is not very difficult. I mean, they are running from flies and fleas. Then I suppose they run from real work. I don't know.
The real work is the admin work.
Yeah.
So it takes around 2 hours of them of butchering that. Do you guys kind of wait outside? Do you actually make up a little camp?
Can I see the lightsaber?
Maybe
Got
one
the
day.
cloak for it.
You got the
Yeah,
cloak for it. I'm in
outside. I'm outside, like trying to strum some chords to this song I'm writing about.
Already writing a song?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna have a little rest. I'm gonna lay out my bedroll. Back he goes. Makes a couple of comments.
Yeah.
He's like, Gil, you handled your rapier very well, though the stabbing in the bum was quite unpleasant.
Yes, I was about at one point to warn you to stay to the back of a fight, but you accomplished yourself quite well near the front, I must be honest.
I surprised myself, but I'm happy I did it.
Gil can obviously handle more than you think. Hmm?
I just sort of waggle my eyebrows at that.
So, 2 hours later, the Punisher and Thorak come out with a bucket full of heads. And you definitely get that fresh head spell going.
Does that consider a short rest?
You were working. So no.
So the answer is yes. So it was a short rest.
Short rest for those three, not for you.
Okay.
You were working. And he's like,
So the answer is yes.
That's
Sounds
even more
like a short
blatant
rest
than
to
you
me.
normally, Neil.
so he's like, come, I'll take you to my town. You'll rest well. We will get coin, those of us willing to do the hard work, he says loudly in his best common tongue as he starts walking through the plains.
Punisher. How long is walk to your town?
He like sort of looks and kind of 3 hours. We'll get there before the blackest of night. Perhaps your human's torch will come in handy.
I'm sure their eyes will need the assistance, but I ask because I do have with me some goblin meat. Perhaps you are a need sit and have bite of only 2-day-old goblin meat before we continue with walk.
Give me a persuasion roll, Thorak.
Sure. Oh, do I get a bonus for dwarf? No, I don't. Oh, I rolled really well though.
He's like, I've not eaten dwarf, but...
I said goblin meat.
Oh, yeah, I've not eaten goblin.
Oh no!
What? He's eating dwarf.
I am not a cannibal, but
Head bucket. He knows how to butcher a dwarf. And he tries it and he doesn't complain. I assume you give him like a bit as you're walking. Like,
Oh no, we sit down. We have a short rest.
oh, okay, that's reasonable. Yeah. If you want to sit down and have a rest, that's fine.
Yeah.
I will go off. Is this still is this an area that I could forage in or not?
You would have a hard time foraging here, but you can definitely go ahead and try in the hour.
I'll give it a try as I've already rested up for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I presume we're getting a fire going to cook the goblin on.
No, it's already cooked. He doesn't mind
Yeah,
this cold.
yeah, we are.
ready?
It's not cooked. It's fresh. Today all fresh. Sure. I'm gonna like come over like you would at barbecue, and I'll be like, oh yeah, or flip it now. Yeah, oh very good. Oh, this would be very nice. I can tell. No, I'm quite into the goblin now. I had a really good experience with it last time.
Should I like? Oh, you said because it's a meal that I've done a bunch of times, I don't have to worry about rolling. He just enjoys some with us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't.
You don't
you
eat.
have some?
Well, that's fine because
stay
after a
away.
little bit, Caitlin comes back with a bunch of wild pears that she found over a
Nice.
hill yonder, enough to, with maybe a little bit of other stuff to, be a sizable meal for your night. Actually,
Enough
It's
for some
about-
kinky foreplay.
I
Yeah.
point at Caitlin and go, nice pear. Oh, the fruit.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
Dean, I love you.
That's why he's on the show.
I just raise an eyebrow, grin at him, and say thanks.
Yes, he's playing along.
I imagine I'm going to reach into the basket or whatever of pears that you have there. My hands are very dirty and my fingernails are kind of like messed up and have like tons of dirt and nastiness under them.
Blood.
And that rubs off onto the pears. But I'm going to grab the one that clearly looks like you pulled it off of the ground. Like, you're like, oh, this one's not so bad. But like it's still bruised and whatnot
Yeah.
on the side of it. I'm going to grab that pear. I'm just going to like sink my teeth into like the really bruised, gross part of it. And put the rest of the pear back into the basket. Like, good.
I'm just like, oh.
You just hear Vale like
Okay.
wince from behind you, just. Oh.
I'll just sort of like, okay, that's a little bit awkward. I'll get like one of the others. I'll literally just like lob one at Vale and Gil in turn, just lob one each, and then just get another one, sit
Yeah.
down.
Goes very well with Goblin, actually.
Seeing that the convention is to keep a whole pear for myself, I'll actually reach back into the basket, pull that one back out. I'm like, oh, good, and walk away.
So you absolutely get enough
Smiles
to
back to
eat.
normal at that.
Yeah, he's learning. And while actually the Punisher's like, well, we have pear orchard back home is just sort of just in a similar way to Forak, he sort of starts a conversation but doesn't necessarily
want
continue with it.
Do you want one as well, sir?
Oh, I
Get
assumed you
one.
offered him one because you were
Yeah.
nice.
Well, I would have.
Yeah,
done,
he
but
would have
maybe
taken
not
one.
immediately
He's
when he
fine with
says that.
Yeah. So you rest up, you eat, and you know what? It's one of those ones where like, oh, we traveled for a while, had a big battle, definitely need some good food, yes. And Caitlin is actually good at foraging. It looks kind of desolate out here. It's not a desert, but it's just sort of like barren plains. Find food somewhere. It's what she do.
Two things happen when one of two things happens when Caitlin goes foraging. She either finds some good food and does well, or she gets lost. There is no in between.
Yeah.
It's because she's so determined she won't give up till she finds.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't go back to them without some food.
What would they think of me?
So I imagine when you're eating up and you've had your rest and you've recovered your spell slots, I assume is why that was required. You start walking, and it's not even like he takes it as like, oh, you're gonna camp. He's like, we walk to Rathold now. Yes.
Rathold? Is that
Yes,
the name of the
Rathold.
town?
What a pleasant sounding place.
Is a double T like RATT old?
And you're like, oh, there's rats, the beast. Why?
Yes.
Yeah, we have rats. We have rats.
We do not have that many rats. They struggle to climb onto floating city. Or boats, but they love boats.
You have
Once they're in,
owls.
they are-
There's a
they
lot of
are boat for life.
owls. So many owls.
They are pest owls. One time I saw a lovely pigeon. I'll come eat it. That's it. No more pigeon. Just owls.
So it's one of these things where I think naturally, if it was the humans in charge, you probably would have camped for the night. But you keep walking a little longer than you normally would have because this guy is leading the way and he's not taking no for an answer. And one of your party members is absolutely on board. You start walking to... Yeah?
I was just gonna say I'm trying the same strategy I did the last time we rested and be like, oh, it's getting a bit late.
I just give him a pity look this time and just sort of like, I don't think that's gonna fly this time, so Gil.
Last time I didn't notice it for like ages. This time, if and when I actually notice it, I poignantly ignore it because we're on track with the dwarf.
Yeah. So it's like he said, around about 3 hours later. So it's like pitch black, middle of the night kind of thing right now. You can see the stars. The stars are really nice to see from here. There's no pollution from the city or anything. But it's quiet and it's windy. Before you come to Rat Hole, and it's one of those places you definitely see the lights before you see it. Like you go over a little bit of a ridge, and you're like, oh, he's like, there it is. It's not the most majestic looking town or anything, but you know, it's a dwarven town of enough size to be of worth for him to be going out traveling.
I do not understand this town. It is above ground.
Yeah, I'll explain that.
Please.
He starts going closer, and you can see there's like sort of an outer wall, and you can see that there's actually like a fairly large pear orchard. He's like, it was mining town. Some is underground, but hill folk move in, make it into bit of their playground. I don't mind. They pay good. They pay very good. They bring in some lovely people. And he like gets distracted for a bit, and then sort of comes back to reality.
The hill dwarves, they are your ruling faction, no? You have to do something for them?
We keep going. Millions.
Oh, look at Scott's face.
Is that a yes?
They rule like your king rules on toilet.
He rules, but from toilet.
He doesn't eat. He just keeps walking. That's like the end of the conversation from him. He's like, you'd say that and it pissed him off. You know when someone just says something they don't know they're doing wrong, so he didn't really get mad at you because he knows you're an elf and he doesn't want to have a long conversation with an elf. But he's like, ugh.
I'm sorry, but you're talking about ruling from a toilet, and we're talking about dwarves. All I could think was Tyrion and the crossbow. So
I think that was kind of weird. I just
started laughing. I was like, "Oh, this is great."
So
funny.
You go into this town. It's it's big enough that there's lanterns that are lit. You go through a little bit of a wall, but it's one of those sort of. It's not a wall that's going to keep out monsters or something. There's probably guards out.
This wall is shit.
This wall is shit. Why do you think they need me? Ha! But it's one of the things you notice. Thorak would notice. You know, there's tall buildings, like 3 or 4 stories. There's like tall, fairly new build townhouses, and yeah, you can see some minings and like places to go. What are you doing over there? Stop being weird.
I don't know.
One of the evil resealable tabs that Dean was talking about earlier.
That
doesn't work.
But there are areas where you can see it kind of would go into a layer below, you know, like Dwarven's like, hey, this is layer 1, layer 2, they all have fancy names. But they are not in use, everything's on the surface. He starts taking you to what is clearly like a guard keep, and starts with the bucket of heads, and he goes and enters the place, and you kind of can tell that the guards in there. I mean, immediately, first of all, the guards, one of the guards out by the door, kind of looks at the people following this guy, and he's like, "Whoa."
I have to ask you a question. I'm sorry. Before we actually walk into the town itself, because I imagine the guards place that you're referring to is farther in the town. I'm still covered in removing heads from bodies, aren't I?
Yes, both of you are.
I would actually turn to Gilwyn, like just as we're approaching the town or whatever, and I've already mentioned that the walls are shit, and be like, Gil, is there something you do? And I just like gesturing towards like the hunks of flesh and blood and just horribleness on my body.
Yes, you're covered in dead. What? Clearly, you don't want to walk inside right now.
I just wanted you to say, I bathe.
You're kind. Sometimes you have fancy magics that make it clean.
Yeah, I could give that a go. I don't think I could clean that much of you at once.
Then
I could
cast,
clean like this much.
cast a few times then.
If you
Yeah,
want
this is
to.
definitely one of the ones that you're gonna be like. You can help. You can make it not as bad. You can get the chunks off at least, predestinationing for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so prestidigitation does go to a good area. Though I imagine what Ollie's trying to say is it's so nasty that you can only get smaller areas at once. But the fun thing is, it's not like it makes it disappear. Like the stuff doesn't disappear. It usually just kind of like slops onto the ground in one form or another.
Yeah.
So feel free to describe it.
It's kind of like a super high pressure like water blaster, and everything just like flies off of you. Like
Some of it flies onto the Punisher, who is not having the same treatment and is not asking for it. Who is like
doing a couple of passes up and down the very short
He's-
form of horror.
he's presentable enough in the darkness now.
And then I do like a spin motion.
I turn slowly.
Do the same thing a couple of times.
Yeah. So, but the Punisher doesn't do the same. He goes into the guard hall, and you can tell it's night. There are of course guards there, but they're like, ugh, you just have to come with the heads. I'm like, of course I have to come with the heads. You know, and they acknowledge the rest of you, but again, sort of like, oh, who are these weird people? You know. Someone comes up and sort of looks and nods like clearly of some repute. Their armor has, you know, not medals but symbols of battles won, and it's like, oh, and starts handing out on a coin purse, and he goes to Forak and is like, your share, you did good work. Maybe one day you can be, well, if you don't retire, you could be a Punisher, and hands you 20 gold.
I look down at the 20 gold. I imagine I can quickly count it in my hand.
Yeah,
or
it's easy
whatever.
enough.
And I'm gonna take one coin and I'm gonna like bite down on it hard and taste it to make sure it seems like gold.
Oh, it's absolutely gold. Yeah.
Okay. And
It's real.
I look at him when I do that too, like just to make sure he knows that, you know, it's like kind of
You're a good man. And I put it back in there. You let Forak know if you need help in future.
put it away.
Oxhorn.
Oxhorn. Good man.
And he starts.
Oxhorn.
Yeah.
While
You
they're
say that
doing
again.
that-
He's starting walking off.
While they're doing that, I'd like to. I have the like box of glass panes on my shoulder. I just take it down and sort of like offer it to the head of the guards. Be like, we recovered this from the bandits' hideout. I don't know if you can trace its owner.
Oh.
I would actually say that in Dwarvish just to.
Oh, he's saying in Dwarvish. He's like surprised that you're coming to him speaking in Dwarvish, and sort of like strokes his beard for a bit and like, oh, thank you much. We usually don't get anything back from them, but this is great. This is thank you. And
I just smile and nod. Good day then, sir, and sort of and sort of back off, said to go out as well.
Yep. So, I know what you're gonna ask. Is there a tavern in the town? Yes.
I was gonna ask that.
You can hear it. You can hear the
gonna cost
leaping
money, let's
cockatrice nearby. This late in the night, the dwarves are still drinking. It's probably the only real thing you can hear. You can actually, you can hear a little bit of laughter in the breeze of the town and some dogs howling, but mostly it's the tavern.
This is my element.
Well,
Please.
that was
Please.
a big waste of time.
What was waste of time?
The detour we just took.
Why waste of time?
We could already be towards the Crimson Mountain. We could have got the intel we wouldn't quite have reached it, I'm sure. Especially not if Caitlin's estimations on distance are correct.
Don't be fool, elf. Do you not see what we have just earned in our time just now?
I think he probably would have handled it himself. He seemed like a tough fellow.
I said what we have earned. Think about it. Now we know each other's forte. Now we know how to move. You go high, I go low. She goes chop, I go flump. And the other, he plays songs and poke things from behind.
You have a fair point there. It is probably useful to know how we fight before we get into a serious fight. Like with the Crimson Mountains guards when they want to kill us for stealing their secrets.
I will, if it wasn't already, my jaw is now steeled. Like,
And on the plus side, we managed to protect the town from bandits. I mean, that's its own reward, surely.
Yes, that too.
Right. Tavern, yes?
No.
Yes, please.
Why do we need tavern?
I'll pull my loot out, and I'm very excited to get into it.
You like pull out like.
Well,
Your element is horrible, disgusting mites, yes? Gilwyn, his element is a tavern. He plays music. He sings.
I like go up to Forak and say, "Come on, let's go sing some songs."
Aww.
yes, Sephorak, after so long out in the open, surely we could do with a nice, pleasant drink and sleep and place to rest for the night.
you know what? I'll let you guys roll persuasion against me. Whichever you two want, with advantage, because the other is aiding.
You're not the DM
Gil,
here.
What's your persuasion?
DC 15 to see if you can convince me to come with you and hang out.
My
Gil, what's your
persuasion.
That sounds like
is-
a lot of that's happened in my life a
I've
lot
got
of
plus
times.
5.
plus
People
5
trying to
me as
convince
well.
me with their persuasion rolls to go out to the pub.
I'll
Well,
assist.
I'll roll persuasion because
Yeah, I'll
I
assist you.
want to.
You mean the bar? You gotta go to the bar.
Got a
The
pub.
wicked pisser.
There you go, that's-
18! Sweet. And Caitlin was the one that rolled. So Gilwyn says about the music thing. He actually does enjoy Gillen's music, even if he's never complimented it. But when Caitlin says that, he says to Caitlin, he'll say back to Caitlin, but in Dwarven, be like,
Do you think he knows good song?
and like turn to lead, pulling a couple of coins out of the purse and handing each of them 2 gold.
I'll say back in Dwarven, well, if not, maybe one of the dwarves there can teach him. You know, maybe you can join in. Learn something for the rest of our travels.
Huh.
So, you walk towards the Leaping Cockatrice. A brilliant place, you're sure. It's one of those taverns that's got a very large open hall. You actually, there is a door, but the door is pinned back right now as you just walk in through an archway in. And it's still bustling. It's the dead of night, but there's still dwarves drinking. It's not as busy as maybe it would be. There's a couple of shady characters, but they're all dwarves one way or another. You maybe see one human, and is that a halfling? Do you even care? You don't see any elves, that's for sure. You sit there for a little. You probably, I don't know. Do you walk in and instantly go and find a table, or you go find a barman? That's up to you. But there's no one immediately apparent. I mean, there's people tending to patrons already there, but
Is there a table that's either empty or mostly empty?
there's completely empty tables at this point. There's say one of the ones that immediately catches your eye is there's like mess from people who have been there before, like they've had their dinner there. But you know it's in the best position, it seems.
So I'm gonna go to the table that's empty, sit down, and pull out like 4 different flasks and just like put them on top of the table.
Kind of go sit next to Forak then.
I'd go to the barman and ask for, I don't know, a pint of ale and something and a bite to eat, whatever's going.
You don't need food. But you can have food
Don't
if you
need.
want.
Oh yeah, we ate before we did.
You can
that.
have
Yeah,
food.
then
You
it's
can
food.
order
Keep up
dessert.
with a very high protein intake for the game.
It's up
Then
to
yeah,
you.
it'll just be a pint of ale or something.
Yep. Ale is absolutely okay. You know, it's like it's 2 silver for a gallon. For a mug, it's around about 4 copper. Perfectly normal prices. Normal ale. You know, the barkeep's like, definitely like I haven't seen anyone like you before, but like pause it while looking at you. Like,
I just smile at him. I'm not even like
no, it's not like a mean thing. It's like a.
A value.
No, I imagine I'm pretty used to being stared at anyway, being in a radio so often.
Yeah.
So it's just like, whatever. I'm not bothered.
Is there?
Bring us over the nail, would you, cat?
Yes. Another one for my friend, please.
He actually he follows where you who was doing you. Like, you think you can handle?
Well, that will be the entertaining part to find out, won't it?
I'm not clean mess.
I just laugh at that.
Is there anybody already like performing in here, or is it like silent?
No. There is a little bit near the hearth where there's clearly, if there was going to be a barn, that's where it is. You actually see there is a set of bagpipes that sort of rested there. So maybe there was a bard who's like just popped off to the privy or something.
Right.
It's fine, we got you back. Just muscle in.
Make this stage my own.
I mean, you can if you want.
Just
Yeah.
pop one of his bagpipes.
Yeah, I'm gonna step up there and sing my newly written song, Gilwyn Gallagher, the Bane of the Beardy Bastards.
Okay. Why don't you give me a persuasion, a performance
They're all
roll?
gonna be drinking, then they'll look down at their beard and then they'll, yeah, I've got a beard.
Know your audience. Know your audience.
Yeah, feel free to give me a performance roll.
Oh no, Dean, you have to actually sing the song. Then roll.
Maybe next time. Maybe I'll make a recording of it or something.
It's a tough one, isn't it, to come up with a song?
Eee.
You start playing and it's like one of those things where it's fine. It's like clearly no one thinks of it as any more than background noise. You've been to taverns before. Sometimes there is just someone playing music, but it's not like an amazing performance. No one really pays you any much notice. Even your friends
This is kind of shit, isn't it?
kind of are like having their own conversation now about the ale.
It's a new song,
Elton,
to be
that
honest.
is for
I
sure.
imagine it needs some more work.
You write this in like past hour or two. I mean, this is shit.
It is like those dwarves we killed. Not very good.
He say he wants. He say he wants to impress Caitlin, but I don't think Caitlin's going to be very impressed by this shit song.
He tries very hard. Perhaps that will do it, though.
Trying
Yes,
is enough.
She might find it endearing, the fact that he has tried so hard. She may want to look after him as well if he's crestfallen. It's a tried technique. You know, I'll teach you about it sometime. Give a wink.
I'm right there.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting there like
holding
I'm
the
just
cup like.
following this conversation.
I just must say that this song is almost as much shit as this service. Does nobody come over and bring the ale? Must I walk up to the bar?
At the climax of this song,
Oh, there's a
want-
climax.
I want to cast Prestidigitation on my fret hand and
Yeah.
cast a bunch of sparks coming out
Oh.
as I launch into a flurry of chords.
Give me another performance roll. Go on.
Wasn't much of a
fuck's
climax.
sake.
Oh boy.
You do that, and someone's like, "The man is on fire! The human man is on fire!" Someone, and like you're about to finish, water is thrown over you by like one of the barmaidens, and she's like, "Oh, did we get it? Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
you've doused my
You're
flame.
welcome, by the way." And like goes and leaves you alone.
Don't mind it, Sir Gilwyn.
I'll just go to
This
the
is
bar
it
then.
now. He is
He's
wet.
a shit.
He's tired. She will look after him. Otherwise, he will get ill. Hmm?
The barman is like looking at the scene that just went on. It's like, maybe it's time to close up sometime soon. Oh, hello, sir. What do you
Nobody
need?
come and bring drinks to table. I must walk all the way over here.
Over in Reichdom, we quite like the walk. Well, that's what they say. What do you need?
I'm old and crippled, and you make me hobble to bar. It is not good service. I want
Here.
I want two things. The first thing that I want is your shit whiskey. I want a bottle of it.
Yeah. Fine. Gets you, that'll probably be like 4 silver. A proper.
And the second thing, and I pull out that stone, like bottle that I have, and I put it down gently on the bar, and then slide it forward a couple of inches, and I'm like, does this look familiar to you? And when I say that, I'm gonna put a gold coin down on the bar and slide that almost all the way to the other side.
Why don't you give me a persuasion roll for that?
Sure.
I'm tipping the water out of my loot.
He kind of looks, and he actually he takes the coin, and he does like almost I don't know if you let him touch it, but he sort of tilts it a bit and looks at it, and it's almost when he touches, he's like, well, like it's something got on his hand. Like, hey.
Bit of me.
It definitely looks like, well, from the mountain, usually they make things in square bottles. So it's probably from south. But I can't tell you, it doesn't look like a thing I would know.
To the south of here.
Reichdom way. Probably not all that way. But, Hildorf.
Is there a place around here where I may be able to procure a map?
Yes, there's and he kind of tells you the way to the local, general goods store. They can get you a map of the Dwarven Lands. It's better than whatever you've been using to navigate so far.
Very well.
I look around the bar. How many people are around the bar?
Like actually on the bar, sitting.
Like around in the tavern.
In the
drinking.
tavern. No more than 15. There's a couple of people sort of like sitting alone in corners, like watching. There's a few groups that are, they're winding down. There's a couple of people who are actually asleep. You came here very late. But it's not. This place could fit at least 50 people. In its max. It's not busy, but it's not too quiet either.
Okay, I'm gonna put down 2 more gold coins and slide them forward. So I spent 1 on the bottle and the info, and then another 2 right now. And I say,
my friend, he is up there. He plays like shit. You buy around for everybody in bar. Say it from him.
And I slide the coins across for him.
He smiles quite widely at that and is like, absolutely, I'll do that. And starts. He actually goes to a slightly better drink slightly better ale than the one he usually does, and starts getting all everything on a what do you call it, tray. Very easy word. It's always the easy words you forget. And starts walking. Is like, drinks courtesy of the bard fellow, and the people who are like asleep, like, hey, and then there's like the group that's clearly like a party of like workmen or something are like, hey, and then some of the shady people are like, what? You notice like one of the shady people in the corner just looks Gilwyn in the eye and is like, satisfactory. but everyone is pretty pleased.
Do I hear that I bought everyone this?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite clearly.
I was gonna say I'll just assume it was my amazing performance.
Yeah. So, and the last thing I'm gonna say is when I get back to the table and I with that bottle of like the really shitty whiskey that I had, I pop it open and I fill all 4 flasks. And once the 4 flasks are filled, then I'll just start like drinking from the bottle itself. And I imagine like if you guys like watch me taking like big chugs from the bottle, you'll even see like a bit of like floaty like up by the neck of it. Yeah. Like what is that floating from his mouth into? Oh no, he just swallowed again. It's okay. And I'll put it on the table and slide it out for anybody else to take a sip if they'd like.
Yep, they all will. It's free drink. But he's learned. He's gonna wipe the top properly and check. Hold it up to. Very nice.
Yeah,
No,
I'll do the
it's
same
shit.
thing. I'll sort of like I'll
It's
look
shit.
at it like, okay.
I've had better, but
She struggles to swallow.
yeah, but she understates it horribly. It's like I've had better.
Yeah, not convincing anyone.
Cat,
Not thinking about this and still quite frustrated, I will sit down and chug this bottle.
boy.
Constitution roll, my friend.
One of my natural talents
Is
having an
drinking. Yeah, you have an
advantage
advantage on it.
Yeah.
You're a drinker.
Indeed.
He's a drinker. He is.
Advantage on saving throws against drunkenness.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, advantage on constitution checks related to alcohol.
Nice. I like it.
That's a saving. I just click the normal constitution, yeah?
Make sure you have advantage toggled at the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a toggle. Yeah, I forget that.
Yeah, you drink
Nice.
and you can chug as much as this as you want. You maybe even swallow some questionable stuff that's floating in it. But to you, you're like, you've actually had chunky whiskey before from dwarves, so you don't question what it is you're drinking because it's happened before.
Oh,
So you like drink as much as you want. You can finish the bottle if you want, and then you put it back down on the table, and you're just fine. It's like, yeah.
I realise that I've chugged a lot of it, and I'll put it back with like a fair amount left.
It's one of those ones where you're like, shit, I've drank too much of their drink.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you just sploosh a bit back in.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
that doesn't bother Thorak. He would just take it and be like, in Dwarven it'd say cheers, and he'd just take like another big swig and put it back down in front of him.
You've shared saliva now.
Oh.
And other things apparently.
I just slam it on the table and say, well, it's a new song. For fuck's sake. These things happen.
Win.
It's
Your
shit.
clothes
I'll
are
just
wet.
pat him on the shoulder and say, "I'm sure it'll get it will be more popular if you work on it a bit, Sir Gil."
Your hand gets wet. His clothes are soaking wet.
You should
Sort of-
probably,
yes.
have Cat help you get out of your wet clothes. You might get ill otherwise. We can't have you ill while we're traveling. Cat, go give him a hand. Thorak and me have things to discuss.
Yes, and this song, it does not make your father very proud.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, that one stung. But I visibly show it as well. I don't hold
What
back
your
on that.
swordplay would have.
Would I pick up on the fact that I actually genuinely hurt him on that one?
I
up
would
to you.
frown at you at that.
I got a good insight. I'm gonna roll to see if I would pick up because you're wearing it on your sleeve. I rolled
Hey!
Don't notice.
You still feel like you said a good thing.
Yeah. I just leave it hanging.
Wow.
I don't double down.
Good
Ah.
advice there.
I don't double down.
Nah.
You know what I mean? But I just leave it hanging. But
Good.
cool.
All right. Are you going to go off? Do you guys want to buy rooms for the night?
Well, I think Vale and I have to have conversation before we.
Yeah.
discuss
But
whether we wanna
they're
have a
buying.
room for the night.
Surely they want to buy a room so they can get out of their wet clothes.
Yeah, I'm fed up and I'm going to bed. Not a
Alrighty.
good night for Gilwin.
5 silver.
Caitlin-
You get yourself a
Caitlin's gotta
room.
give you a hand.
Mem-
Medicine checks and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yes. That one.
He's only 19, so he's still a bit of a kid and kind of.
It's one of those
Upset.
ones where Gilwin goes up to get like room, please, and he's like, 5 silver, unless you want the fancy suites upstairs, Mr. Bard.
5 silver's fine. Just slam the silver down.
Yeah, he's like gives you like a key. And he's like, downstairs and follow the dots on the walls.
Spend the 5
We'll do
silver.
that.
Yeah, I would actually be up alongside him. I don't know if the bartender would have assumed that we were
He
together,
assumed.
but I'd just say,
Two
yeah,
humans together? You're clearly
Yeah.
a couple.
And I'd just be like, yeah, can I get a room too, please? And probably surprise him.
Oh, yes. And like takes the money and hands you a key. He's like, oh, I'm going to be fully booked.
I imagine we do not pay yet because we're going to stick around and have conversation first. But when the time finally does come, because I just subtracted from the character sheet,
Yeah.
I'll throw a gold coin down to cover the both the rooms for Vale and myself.
Ooh,
Hey,
hey.
free room.
So you guys go off to your rooms.
I got
You
paid.
get you get changed
that's
stuff. The
true.
rooms are fine. You know, there's enough room. There's like a little chest that you can put your stuff in if you don't want to have it all in your bags. You want to check things. You want to change your clothes. I don't think Gilwyn has a change of clothes.
I have disguise kits and a motley.
You could
put your motley on.
Bed. They're wet already. Just give them a rinse.
Yeah, you
I'm just
figure
saying,
out some way
whatever
to
your
dry.
character wears, you have to cosplay it. So if your character, I'm just saying, there's requests for you to cosplay your character nude. Just saying.
That's how
saying.
cosplay works. But yeah,
That's how it
the
works.
rooms are like, it's one of the ones where this is a dwarven tavern in a dwarven town. You get a sheet, but the bed is made of stone. You don't have a mattress. You do have a chair, which is nice, and you have it locks and everything. But there's no windows or anything. Room is fine. You'll sleep there. You might not be very comfortable because you're not a dwarf. The bed's also a little bit too short. Your legs are definitely going to poke out. Vale is definitely going to have his legs poking out. But, you know.
We have bed rolls as well. Those can go on the start.
Yeah,
you
you'd
could
actually
roll
be
a bed roll
fine.
out on top. Good plan. Good plan.
All right.
I don't
discuss.
actually come out of my room, by the way.
Oh.
I'm there for the rest of the night now.
Discuss Dwarven.
I didn't know if we were doing the break now and then discuss.
We
that
did a
for
break
while.
now, or how long are you going to take?
I actually have very little to discuss.
I'm fine either way.
I was wingman.
Might as well do it afterwards.
For,
Go ahead.
Gil.
Sure.
I know.
Well, let me get in character.
Acting. And scene.
What is it that you wanted to discuss, Elf? That was way off, but that's fine.
I actually had very little to discuss. I was trying to get Gil and Kat alone together, but I have noticed your magic. It has a lot of decay to it. Are you okay? Did you see something terrible as a child that affected your form of magic?
I'm thinking for a few moments, and then I'm like,
Elf. I do not know this magic that I have. It is new to me. It just flows free from my bones. The stone that I touch, I feel it, a pulse, like the beat of a heart. The ground that I walk on, the tunnels that I am within, they speak to me. I hear them whisper, sometimes in pain, sometimes with glee. The maggots and flies, they come from within, though I cannot explain how or why it is that they are there, just like I cannot explain how or why it is that I am here. I know very little about myself and about this world. I'm trying to find a place.
Interesting. So this is some form of magic that you were born with, yes?
It has come to me recently.
How strange. I cannot say I've really heard of many forms of magic such as this occurring in, well, what I can only presume is quite a late age.
I do not know how old I am.
Oh. Well, I suppose it matters not. You're alive and well, ish. Certainly alive, so what's the matter? I'm gonna have a swig of the whiskey.
Yes, well, I am here, and I do what I do, and I'll discover what I discover along the way. I hate elves. Y'all a bunch of fancy folk with twisted words and false meanings, but you fight with brave heart. You seem not to be a fucking dick.
but he says that last part like in Dwarven.
So it's like, you seem not to be a Vorstenkapantal.
Yes, well, I like you as well. You're a bit more... Well, you know, I don't bump into you like other dwarves. I see you coming. Maybe it's the hobble.
Maybe.
With that, so that's pretty much, because that seems like the end of what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
With that, what I'll do is I'll grab the bottle and just kind of like look at it, and I'll take like half of the remaining amount as a swig and put it on the table and slide it over to him so he can have the rest. And I'll get up and I'll hobble my way over to the innkeep person, throw the gold coin down, and say 2 rooms, 1 for me, 1 for him, and then I'll hobble out.
You'll hear like a slightly drunken cheer from Vale in the back. Vale's gonna mull his drink for a bit and then he'll eventually head up once he's finished the bottle.
Alright, perfect. Well, as everyone's going to a beddy buys, perfect time for a break!
Ding!
We'll see y'all in like 7 minutes, because 7 is the magic number.
7 minutes. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.